Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Powercast, and also to my clients, my PT masterminders. We've got John Hill here today, who is our IT guy in my group. So he helps my clients with anything they need based on IT. It's just something bonus that I love to give to my clients to so I can focus on what I'm great at and then really create a team and that massive value for my clients. But today I'm putting this up on the podcast as well because I know that IT is something that really frustrates people in their business, and it just does their head in, just completely goes over their head. And so I wanted to talk to John today to give you guys some massive value as well. So thanks, John, for jumping on.
Thanks for having me on board, Ellie, and I'm with you. IT can be frustrating.
Totally. So can you tell everyone a little bit about your background and I guess how you got into IT and anything about you, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. So my IT career probably started in grade 7. Before that, I'm a bit of an old school person where they had monochrome computers back when I was in primary school. And I remember there was this one computer where it had this game on it, and someone had asked me to change this game to be another game, and I was like so petrified of this computer, and I was like, it might break if I touched it. I knew how to use the keyboard, that's about it. Follow keys on the keyboard, and I was just so fearful of this thing, and I had absolutely no idea how to use a computer. And I remember grade 7, we had to actually do computing at high school. And for me, that was when I used to like type with one finger. I remember the person sitting next to me, he was so frustrated with me, trying to push me over, going, "Come on, I'll type this for you." And I was like, "No, I've got to learn."
Sounds like my dad.
Yeah. And for me, it was challenging, but there was just something inside that just went, I want to learn more about this computing thing. For me, it was an outlet of creation, and it was also at the same time for me to be able to use my mathematical brain to be able to program. And probably my first big breakthrough was when I went to go to my dad's work on the weekends. I used to be a bit of a nerd, and I was just like reading everything about computers. And there was this one, they had like 1 or 2 computers in the whole office, if you can believe it. And this old clunky computer had this Space Invaders game, and I used to play this Space Invaders game. And I remember I went in there one weekend, and the game had gone. Someone had deleted it by accident. And my dad was like, "Yep, sorry, someone's deleted it." So I got my programming books out, and I started coding. And I remember a couple of months later, my dad coming into the office, and he was like, "Oh, you recovered the Space Invaders game?" And I was like, "No, I wrote it myself." And so I was like 13 or 14 years of age then, and he was absolutely amazed. And I think from then on, I just got a real passion for computing. And I would go, every time my dad went to work on the weekend, I'd go in with him, and I would be playing around on these computers. And eventually they got to like 16 colors and 256 colors. It was so amazing. You had all these colors. But I just used to jump in there, and I just spend all my time tinkering and learning how all these programs worked. That really fueled my fire to go out there and IT again, to go out there and learn. I love pulling things apart, learning how they worked, and I love creating things. So went to university and studied IT, got a few jobs in IT, worked around the world. There was quite a few mentors that took me under their wing and really, really encouraged me to get out there and explore the IT world. And I got to work in America, got to work in London, and got to work in an agency in Sydney as well. And I remember a little bit later on as well through my IT career, there was a time where I put up my IT hat, and I was purely just doing coaching. I've done a bit of coaching as well, but part of that was working with business owners where I could see that they were struggling with the IT side of business. I had this assumption that all business owners automatically knew how to use IT. And went along to this training, and they were asking all the basic questions like, should I have can I have a Facebook page for my business? Really basic questions about how to put a website together. I was blown away that business owners didn't have this knowledge. So for me, that's where my IT business was born, conceptually. And my thinking was that I had by that time almost 20 years of IT experience. Actually, probably longer if you think about when I started high school. And I was like, I'll be able to transfer all this knowledge to people to be able to help their businesses grow. I love seeing businesses grow, and I love just being able to problem solve and help support businesses through IT.
Yeah, awesome. So what are the basics that you think everyone needs to start with for IT in their business? So it might be someone who's just starting out, or I've found as well, people who are further along the journey, they still don't have the basics in place anyway. So what do you think are the first things that people need in their business?
Yeah, look, I think some sort of online database, so some way to communicate with people. Preferably, if your target market sits in social media, then jump on set up a social media profile as early as possible.
Yeah.
I also advocate having a website as early as possible. But what I say to that is, like, have a website that's really, really, really basic, like just a one pager. Don't get wrapped around the axles about having the world's best website. That'll come later.
Yeah.
My first website is hilarious.
It's funny actually, because there's a chick that I follow called Kimra Luna, and she's just awesome. She's this punk rock chick with blue hair, and she's just got paid over 12 grand US for this website where you click and you choose your character and choose your spaceship. And you go around the website and you get to all these free courses in this galaxy, this little online world she's created. And it's amazing. But what she was posting about was, yes, she spent a lot of money and time on this, and it's really, really cool and fun. But her first website cost her like $100.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think people look at all these people who they see as super successful that are making millions of dollars, and they think that they've got to be at that level as well, when you don't. Just start with something.
Absolutely. And I find it's for a lot of people, it's a nice, safe distraction from them getting out there and doing the tough things.
So true.
On a website.
Yeah.
So normally, I tend to gauge business owners when they come to me and they want to spend a certain amount on a website. Sometimes I'll push back and say, no, you don't need it yet.
Yeah. Cool.
The other thing you need is some apps on your phone that are going to be able to help you, like learn how to use Siri or the Google equivalent if you've got Android, to be able to do things like make calls on your phone when you're driving. Those sort of things sorted out on your phone. So I'm a big advocate of having people be able to run a business from their phone or their laptop. If they've got an internet connection, then you can run a business.
Yeah, totally.
Have your email sorted, have your social media sorted, and have your app sorted so that you can at least get in contact with people. That's number one.
Yeah.
And some sort of way of just like recording sales in the spreadsheet. That's pretty much all you need to get started.
Yeah. Cool.
The other thing I'm really critical with is having backups. Got to have backups, so have some sort of storage.
Yeah.
I personally use Google Drive, but a lot of people use iCloud if they're on the Apple platform. And security.
Yeah.
People that come to me and they have they're Fred Blogs, who's a nobody, and they've had the website hacked. That's probably a whole podcast in itself, but hackers will go for the small people because they're easy targets. So
okay. Yeah, cool. I love Google Drive as well. I've used it for years, and I just love the calendar because literally if I didn't put something in my calendar, I'd forget it. So it helps me because I do live a busy life, it helps me to get a lot of stuff done. Obviously the documents and the slideshow presentations and spreadsheets you can do in there, I think it's just awesome, and it's free and it's easy to use.
Totally with you there. Like, you can pretty much have the whole Office suite for free by using the Google apps. So I love it. Absolutely love it. Use it all the time. And the great thing I find about it is that if I've got a Google Doc, so I'm out with a client, I can just pull up Google Drive and show them they're on a tablet or my laptop. I've got a concept drawing. I can just write some notes off to the side. I've got a Google document sitting there writing notes into. So really, really, really handy. Sync straight away. You can share it with people. You can type. People are always blown away when you're typing on a document and then it shows up on their screen as well.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Or when me and my assistant are in there at the same time and both in the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great for that. Great for sharing information to a team. Really, really good for that.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. So I know a lot of people have questions around like email providers, so MailChimp, GetResponse, Aweber, that kind of thing. And again, like we were talking about before, I think there's the cheap or free options going up to quite expensive options like Infusionsoft and Ontraport and all of that. What's your kind of advice around that? And do you have some, I guess, basic tips around getting started with what you need to do when you choose one of those?
Yeah, look, I use that same model of like start basic first.
Yeah.
A lot of clients I work with will use MailChimp to get started. MailChimp is, I think, it's become really, really powerful these days. It's almost like a cut down version of Infusionsoft for those that are familiar with Infusionsoft, because it's really, the interface is really, really easy to use.
Yeah.
You can start off with a free version of it, and probably with a tiny little bit of knowledge, then you can get up and running with storing people's details and be able to send them an email.
Yeah.
And I say get started with that, so you get clear on how it is you want to communicate with your clients. But I say go for something like MailChimp. Really, really, really easy. I used to use Aweber a lot. For me, I'm a bit more of a techie person, so I prefer Aweber. But MailChimp is really, really, really easy to use. Really good to even have some really basic email campaigns running. Now, what I would say is as your business grows, and probably once you hit about the 100K mark, that's when you want to be looking at something a bit more powerful, which is more like your Ontraport or HubSpot or your Infusionsoft as well. I love HubSpot, but you do pay for it.
Yeah.
Great product, great people, they're local, but yeah, you pay for it.
Do you think that decision's also not just based on how much you're earning, but how many people you have on your list or the things that you want to actually do with a product like that?
Absolutely. So as your list grows, MailChimp uses a model where you are paying more for the more leads that you have. So it gets to the point where it's going to be a bit restrictive. And also, if you want a fair bit of logic in your sales funnel as well, MailChimp's really good if you want to be able to throw someone into a email nurturing campaign and say, okay, say you've downloaded your ebook, I'm going to send you these 5 emails straight afterwards.
Yeah,
that's sort of there's much logic that you can have. You can do reporting on like who's opened and get that type of feedback as well.
Yeah.
Bigger like an Infusionsoft. So Infusionsoft integrates with something like Xero accounting platforms. You can do invoicing, and it's quite a complex campaign backend in the back end of it. So say, for example, I download a lead magnet today, and then next week I jump back onto their website, and actually HubSpot's really good for this as well. HubSpot will actually follow you around the internet.
Yeah,
and I've jumped into, say, another landing page with someone's got a HubSpot or Infusionsoft. They can say, oh, well, switch me over to this campaign, or campaigns, or pull me out of that one and say, hey, you're not interested in something anymore, jump into this one. Or if I've turned up to an event, you can switch me to another campaign. So there's a whole lot of decision trees that you can put into the back end of these systems, which sometimes they look like spider webs, but they're really, really, really powerful.
Yeah. Like, for example, my list is quite small because I haven't really done list building activities that much this year, but I connect with a lot of people through social media. So I'm earning good money, but the list is quite small. So I use GetResponse, but haven't made that move to something like Infusionsoft yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So having a third party provider or something like that, that's just as powerful. So
yeah.
I would say if you do have a larger list, then you do need to look at getting a bigger CRM.
Yeah, and what would you classify as a good size list to then make that jump up?
Oh, look, if you're looking at anything from about 5,000 leads above, definitely have a decent sized CRM.
Yeah.
Up to about 1,000, then you can probably get away with having a smaller CRM like MailChimp. Anywhere in between that, that's when you're going to be looking at some of these intermediate ones as well.
Okay, cool. And just for everyone, I should have clarified at the start as well, if all of this has gone over your head. So MailChimp, GetResponse, Infusionsoft, all of these things are basically so you can build your database. So you want to be able to get people's names and their email addresses and that kind of thing, so that you can then put them into one of these systems to send regular emails out. So you're not sending them manually, you're sending them through the system, and you can do lots of other cool things in there as well, depending on which one you go with. You can also connect them to like a landing page or a sales page to be able to generate leads through your social media and different things like that as well. So I should have said that at the start. But yeah, I've worked with a lot. I just assume everyone has a database, and there's like people that I've worked with that are like 5 or 7 years into their business and they don't have a database of their leads at all. And it's like you're saying before, it's so important.
Yeah, there's so many different reasons why you want to have some sort of database in the back end. Partly because you can then make decisions around your business. There's some really cool tools, reporting tools out there that can tell you what parts of your database are the ones that are purchasing, which ones are active in terms of opening emails and communicating with you, which ones are keeping warm, which ones haven't been in contact with you for 12, 24 months.
Yeah.
You jump back and say, hey, we haven't spoken for a while, or just to clean out your database. The other side of it is something which is also quite exciting is you can export your database and upload it to Facebook, and then use what called lookalike campaigns, where you look at your database and say, right, what's the characteristics of these people, and who are similar across the whole of Facebook. So when you're doing an ad campaign, it'll put your ads out to similar people who bought your product before.
Yeah, and you can do an ad campaign to your list as well, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Directly to your list. Yeah. So Facebook's got some really cool stuff. Opening up their platforms as well. So there's some really exciting news there. Advertise on LinkedIn if that's your target market. So definitely. Yeah, you've got to be able to have a CRM that you can at least write notes in and keep track of what sales coming through.
Yeah, exactly. And you've just reminded me, actually, I haven't been looking at my GetResponse for a while because I just write the content and then my assistant schedules it. But I remember I used to use Uber platform years ago, and or Business Catalyst, I think it's called, another name for it. And I used to go in there and I'd see like so-and-so has opened this email 10 times or something, and they've been opening all my emails. So then if I had their phone number, I'd give them a call, and they're really hot leads, and they end up signing up because, like you were saying, you can see the ones that are opening your emails, and that you can kind of put them to the top of the pile.
Absolutely. There's one of the things that if you install HubSpot, if you've got the Gmail interface, you can integrate Gmail and HubSpot. And I don't pay for HubSpot, I'm using their free version. But one of the things it does is it tells me the second someone opens an email. So I normally give them about 30 seconds. So I'll send a proposal through. I might give them 30 seconds or a minute. And then I'll be on the phone straight away. And I'll call and say, hey, how you going with the proposal? And they're like, oh, funny you call because I just opened that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Be a little bit cheeky. Sometimes actually the monitors it and we can have a bit of a joke. But that's really, really handy because you can see, especially if you've got a client that could be a bit tough as well, and they could be telling you they don't get your emails, and you're like, well, you just opened it.
Liar.
Fun as well.
Totally. Cool. So what about landing pages and sales pages and membership sites? Like I've used Optimized Press for years. I've just switched over recently to ClickFunnels. I have used Lead Pages before as well. I guess it's the same thing again. I recommend people start with something like Optimized Press or Lead Pages because it is cheaper. and ClickFunnels is more expensive, and there's probably other ones I don't even know about. But what are your main tips around choosing one, and then I guess around like should they figure it out themselves and do the work, or should they pay an IT person to set up a landing page or something like that for them? Like, what are your tips around that?
Yeah, okay. I tend to push the optimized press platform. I guess that's what I learned on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are quite similar. So lead pages and all those, they're drag and drop interface. So you can, if you need a form over here, you drag and drop your form over to the right hand side. They're fairly easy to use. I do find that I've actually got an online training platform that I think I've basically given all your members access to. So
Yeah, awesome.
This is a little gift from me. If once you learn the concepts of what landing pages are all about and how they, I find from the big picture of what they do, so the whole thing of like someone enters their details, it goes into a database, it sends them an email back, and then you follow up with a sale. Once people have that concept, then I think that helps in terms of building the landing pages. Now, what I would say with landing pages is like, go ahead and tinker around with it. I remember my first landing pages were atrocious, but I actually got leads.
Yeah.
I had a terrible Facebook campaign that was drawing leads to my business, and leads were coming in, and I was getting on the phone and pretty much making sales. So you can get away with having something mediocre to start off with. It's not going to get business. At worst, you're going to expose it to a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
A market of potentially millions. So play around, have a bit of fun. But what I would say is once you've used it for a while, then once it's time to lock down and you've got a really serious ebook, a really serious offering, then talk to an IT person to streamline the setup of your landing pages and the whole back-end system as well. That's really competent with it, because there's a whole set of things that will, I guess from an IT background, where I think the optimized press and the lead pages, there needs to be an element of having someone at least brush over it and give you some feedback as well. ClickFunnels, you can probably get away with because their system's optimized already. There's needs to be optimization as well. Definitely jump in and play around with it. Just get in there and do it.
Cool.
That's what you need to do.
Cool. And I think just to clarify as well for anyone who doesn't know, so a landing page is basically a one-page website where someone goes to put in their details to get something from you. So it might be an ebook or a video training or whatever. So that's a way for you to generate leads. And then a sales page is a similar thing, but where you're actually getting them to pay for something. And then your membership site you can use for online programs or for masterminds for your clients to hold you content, basically. I usually say to my clients as well, people that are just doing the very basics, just starting out, don't even worry about that to start. Like, send them to a Woofu page where they fill in a few questions, or send them to, just get them to comment below or send you a personal message. Like, I've literally done that most of this year, and I'm making really good money just from doing that. So I don't think we need to overcomplicate it. But then if you really do want to step it up and get more consistent leads and scale it, then it is important to put like a landing page and Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff in place as well.
Yeah, I would say definitely if your business is turning over at least 100K, that's when you need to be looking at, firstly, what parts of your business are scalable. I would put my energy into landing pages for the scalable side of the business. Be an online training, whatever it is that you've got on offer there. And the other side of it is just to build your funnel as well, your database that you can nurture as well.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. And I think it takes that manual aspect out of it as well. It automates the business more, so you've got more freedom and lifestyle.
Absolutely. Like I sometimes use landing pages in a really, really simple where I go to a lot of networking events, and I go to B&I networking events. So most weeks I'm probably being introduced to at least 20, 30 people a week. And for me to write an email saying, hey, it was great to meet you, takes too much time. So just have a landing page set it at the back of your website, which is hooked up to, say, a mail campaign with an automated email, which has like a PDF or a video. So all you do is you enter the person's details on your webpage, like the hidden page. You probably need the name, phone number, and email address, maybe the company, and hit add. It then goes off and adds that person to your. It was really awesome to meet you at the networking event this morning, today. By the way, I'm John from the Web Warriors. I build websites for small business. Might have a PDF attached or an intro video saying hi, and really, really good ways to get my message out there to remind people of who I am. But to do that manually would probably take a good 2 or 3 hours a week.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great idea.
Ways you can use them.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So I wanted to talk a bit about websites. So I know you touched on it a little bit before, but what do you think are the main things people need on a website? And I guess what are your main tips around websites? And I get a lot of people asking me about SEO as well. Do you think that's important, or are there just some basics that people need?
Okay, so first thing with a website, I always look at the main message on a website. The more focused and more clarity you can get about who your target market is and what they want, the better your website's going to reflect that. So what you'll probably notice is all the big players in the market have very, very simple pages, and what I call, in the market, we call above the fold. So above the fold is the area when you first open a website, and it's the bit where you don't need to scroll. It's the first bit you see on the screen.
Yeah.
That bit needs to be quite clean, and ideally it's going to have like a single statement there, which is the statement that is probably going to capture 80% of your target market. So say for me, my website just has big letters saying, do you need a new website? And a button underneath that says yes, and a button underneath that says no. Cool. Really, really simple message. So they can, within 3 seconds, they're basically looking at the website and they're like, am I in the right spot, or am I going to jump back, click the back button and go somewhere else? Yeah. So many times I see businesses who have these amazing, like really long messages and images all over the place, and they probably spend a lot of time doing it. Problem is, they probably have a really, really high, what we call bounce rate. Now, bounce rate is when someone comes to your website and if they jump back out, it's called a bounce. If they start to look around and scroll and click on links, that means that they've jumped into your website. And that sends a signal to Google to say that that person who's visited your website has engaged with your website. If you have a high bounce rate, i.e. people are visiting your website and they jump back out, that sends a signal to Google that that website is not relevant to them. Whatever they typed into Google to get to you, that's no longer relevant anymore. So it starts to put you at the bottom of the list. So that first thing that they see is really, 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 really important. When someone says, can you look at my website, it's the first thing I look at. Is it a clear message? Is the image clear? Is the image reflective of your brand?
Yeah.
And, does it entice someone to jump in and do something, what we call a call to action? They're going to do something on your website. That's step one. It's almost, I liken it to either having a magazine cover. I see it all the time when you go to you're lining up with the groceries and you see people just look at the magazine covers strategically placed near the cash registers, but people look at it and they go, oh, that's a really cool heading. And they open up and they flick straight to the heading that they want to read. That's like that first statement on your website. The other way I liken it is like if you have a shop front, which is really uninviting, the majority of people along the street are probably going to look at your shop and go, I'll go to the next shop, thanks, and not really look inside. So it needs to be clean, really clear messaging. They need to know really quickly, are they in the right spot?
Yeah.
The next question I think you had was about SEO. Is that right?
Pardon?
So I think your next question was about SEO.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, SEO. Okay, so SEO is search engine optimization. There's two different ways you can look at SEO. So one is organic SEO, which is essentially where Google will start to promote your page, but you're not actually sending any money specifically to Google to promote your page.
Yeah.
It basically following Google's rules, and it looks at your website and says, "Hey, you're following our rules. I'm going to start promoting your site a bit more." So it probably takes about 6 to 12 months. And the basic rules are Google wants to have you seen as an authority in that segment of the market. So say for me, I want to be seen as an authority about websites for small business. And the other thing is that they want to see that you are engaging as well. So are you giving away content people want to consume?
Yeah.
If you're following those two basic rules, then Google will start to take notice of you. If you're doing neither of those, then Google's going to be just like, sorry. So many people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I've got a website now. Can I just put a couple of words in there? I'm going to be number one on Google." It's like, definitely not.
Totally.
Yeah. So SEO, what we're looking at with SEO is people being able to find your website and Google to be able to serve your website when someone types in a phrase into Google. So Google looks at a couple of things like, are you the authority of your target market, and are you serving content that people want to consume? So what I mean by that is if people are engaging with the content, i.e. are they sharing content, are they commenting on your website, are they spending lots of time on your web pages, then that's a signal to Google to say that that person's probably in the right spot. Now, the other thing is if you are giving away good content, then Google's going to look at that and say, well, you're playing by our rules, so I'm going to start to promote your business for free when people start to type in search queries into Google. Now, the thing is with that, it takes about 6 to 12 months. So for a lot of businesses, they probably expect, I've got a website up and it's going to be number one in Google straight away. Doesn't happen like that. It takes 6 to 12 months, and you've got to be blogging, you've got to be promoting your content on social media, you've got to be adjusting your web page and bringing in new content. It's got to be vibrant and people have got to want to consume it. That's critical.
Yeah, cool. I think it's the same with blogging or any kind of content. People are like, "Oh, I put something up and it got no likes, so it doesn't work," or no one looked at it or no one commented on it. And it's like you said, you got to do it for 6 to 12 months and do it consistently to get the results. Yes, you can get quick results. You could get a client the first week from blogging, but to be able to get some consistent results and get it out to a wider audience, it does take time.
And this is why I'm a fan of having a Facebook group as well, because I think playing in a private Facebook group, you get to learn from your potential target market. Always, like, you're doing this really well. I've got my own little IT group as well, and I'm constantly just getting up there and asking, what questions do you have? And I'm posting content. And I'm looking at what content do they engage with. So sharing articles. Most are always articles about reporting, because to me, reporting is so critical about being able to make decisions in your business. But no one ever liked it, no one commented, and in the end I just went, "Hey guys, so should I take reporting out?" And they're like, "Yeah, we hate it." It's like, okay, well, guess you don't want that content. Like, even though it's really, really helpful, no one engaged. So it's being really aware of what you people want and learning as you go. Whenever you're out marketing, you're one of the things I really, really take note of and being present to is having a journal. So when I'm speaking to people, I listen to the exact phrases they use when I'm interacting with them. Yeah, cool. Especially, say, a really, really common one for me is someone that goes to a business networking group and they're handing over their business card, and they do that thing, and they're really coy when they hand over the business card, and they're like, whatever you do, don't look at my website, it's crap. To me, that's like a instant, like, all right, well, let's have a chat about, me helping you with this. But what marketing campaign then is like, are you embarrassed about your website? So I'm using these ways of like that they use.
Yeah,
and
totally.
On your pages and on your they're gonna.
Sorry to interrupt. You go.
I was gonna say, like, they go to your website and they automatically like, holy crap, that's me. Like, this business.
Totally. So. Yeah, awesome. And I can relate to that as well, because I got some of my website fixed up, but I still don't like it, and it's kind of in the process of I need to get it fixed up. And it's like, when it's like that, you don't want to drive any traffic there. You don't want to write content. You don't want to do blogs. You don't want to promote it, and it's putting you off from getting out there to a wider audience.
Yeah. Well, I've got a funny story. Actually, for the first probably about 9 months of my business, I didn't have a website. So there I was selling websites. I didn't actually have one. But yeah, you're so right. Like, you've got to put in the effort to actually have your website grow. I'm a big advocate of always sending traffic back to your website wherever you can. So when you share posts, always pointing back to your website. If you've got a YouTube video, set it within your website. Don't share just the YouTube video. Put it inside your website and share that YouTube video from your website. And all those little tricks to drive traffic to your website.
So have like a page with content or like video, like a heading that says videos or something, can have your videos in there, or?
Yeah, ideally, what you really do is have your videos as more of a blog post.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, true.
Like translate to transcribe it.
Yeah,
and then
cool.
Just blog post. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! You're giving me ideas. Yeah. It's a lot of it is things I know or I used to do, but then it's like, oh yeah, that. So
yeah. It's why we should all be going to as many educational sessions as we can, because I'm the same. Like, I go there and I'm just like, oh, that's that basic rule I didn't follow on that part of my website. Whoops. I got distracted what it was, but it's good.
I think a big mistake people make as well is they think the website's all about them, and you've touched on this a little bit. The website's about your ideal client. Like, what are they struggling with? What do they need help with? So it sounds like you're talking to them. Whereas what I see most people do is like, it's like pictures of them all over it. They might even have a gallery that's just like photos of them doing the photo shoot. And then they have something about like their qualifications and stuff. And it's like, seriously, no one gives a shit. Like,
absolutely.
Like, obviously they
principle of like, buy my shit.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, yeah, people care that you are good at what you do, obviously, but they care about them and the pain that they're in and what they're frustrated with and what they need help with. Like, that's what your website should be about, right? And everything you do.
Absolutely. If you can get present to what your clients really, really want, use their wording and have that as a bit of a user journey for the website. What I'm seeing really popular now is that from the front page of your website, it's almost like you're leading them through your sales process.
Yeah.
So you're almost having yes/no type questions of like, for me, my opening thing is, do you have a website? So if someone says yes, the next page I'll jump to, do you need a new website? If they click yes, there's then a page they go to where it splits in two. But do you have a website already and you're embarrassed by it, or do you need a new website from scratch? And they click yes to those, and then it goes to the next step in my sales funnel. So by the time they're at the contact us page or wanting to book in via you can book me, or one of those things you can sit in your website, you're already a pretty hot lead anyway.
Yeah, totally. You're pre-qualifying them. Yeah.
Pre-qualifying, yeah, absolutely. And I see other businesses do this really well. There's an Infusionsoft partner that I've done a bit of work with, and they actually up front, they say, hey, we're actually, we charge a lot for our business. We know we're good, that's so we can get away with it. If you don't have the budget, then please please don't waste our time. But they say it in a nice way, in a cheeky, fun way.
Yeah.
But whenever people get to the end of their questionnaire, they know that they're very, very hot lead.
Yeah.
So, that's the way to approach it once you've got a bit more idea about your business.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Would you recommend Google AdWords, or is there a specific type of person you'd recommend that for? Or?
Yeah, what I would tend to say with Google AdWords is make sure everything's running first. My approach is use Facebook. Facebook used to be so cheap. You probably remember.
Yeah.
Like $5 a day and have thousands of leads coming in.
Yeah, totally.
Got smart to it, but it's still relatively cheap compared to AdWords. So what I tend to do is test the market with Google Ads first, and then I have like a reporting sequence along my website. How many people click the advert? How many people open? How many people jumped onto the landing page? How many people filled out the details? How many people open the email? And then step by step, how many people of those people actually converted to a sale? Yeah. Now, once you've got all that sequence up to a point where you're happy that it's working, that's when I say, let's have a look at AdWords. And stuff, cash into it. Yeah. Because what can happen is you have people pouring this cash into AdWords, and it's literally like leading. It's almost like you've got someone on the street saying, hey, come to our shop. And all these people are lining up to go to the shop, and they have a look and they're like, that's a really crap shop. And they walk away. So, why not get the shop sort of humming first, knowing that your salespeople can convert, and then you can start pouring leads into your business. So, I say AdWords once it's up and running. You can pour AdWords in if you've got some cash to splash around and you just want to experiment. But generally, I would say only turn it on once you know everything's working.
Yeah. And I was told in the past... Yeah, I was told in the past a few years ago that if it's like a saturated market, or if like there's specific businesses that probably shouldn't be doing it. Is that correct? Otherwise, your cost per lead is going to be very high, right?
Something like, if you say look at like the hotel industry or the legal industry, people are paying like thousands of dollars per click.
Yeah.
So it's a highly, highly competitive industry. Yeah. There is actually a thing you can go into back end where you can see how much it's going to cost per click. Yeah. Google gives you like a little thing that you can muck around with. Yeah. Which is fun to muck around with. And one of the things I love about that, just a quick side note, is you can actually jump into it, look at your own industry and look at what search words people are typing in that are similar to the one that you think they might be typing in. Yeah. And sometimes it's the really good ones there. They're like 50 cents a click or something like that. So you can switch on AdWords for that. That's probably about the only time you can do it. But some industries are competitive, like fat loss. Oh my God, like you're probably paying $2 for that one. Everyone has a solution for fat loss. So I wouldn't even bother. We've got a really, really massive marketing budget. Yeah, totally. Cool. And like you said before, Facebook ads is going to be cheaper anyway. So promotions, all that sort of stuff. So cool. Cool. Yeah. So I'm just going to, before we wrap up, I'm going to look at those questions that I had from a couple of clients earlier. Let me just open it up. So there was one from, let me see, where is it? My group's too active. Here we go. So Chrissy said, is there an easy way to edit videos on the computer that have been taken on a camera that doesn't require hours of learning? Okay, so I taught myself Adobe Premiere Pro, which is like the professional thing that people use, and it's complicated and so long. However, there's on Mac you've got iMovie. On Windows, I use something called MOV AVI. So MOV AVI. It's the equivalent of Camtasia. Camtasia is really expensive. Yeah. The Chinese have basically come along and ripped it off and labeled it, but anyway, it's I think it's about $100 or something like that. And it's really easy way. You just drag and drop videos into the editor, and you can crop, cut, have intro music, that sort of stuff. Now, the other thing which I use as well is the editor on YouTube. YouTube actually has its own inbuilt editor. If you go to video onto YouTube and go to youtube.com/editor.
Yeah.
There's a interface where you can chop and change, and they're always updating their interface. Google gives so much away for free. Right?
Yeah. It's awesome. Okay, cool. Sarah said, what's the most economical way to hire someone to manage all your IT? I think she's fed up.
Look, I depending on what size business you are, outsource to someone who has, ideally if you're starting off, get them to have a minimum hourly rate. And if you can get away with it, get someone who's overseas to look into it. Just be really, really wary of your security. Sometimes people over there, those people are really honest, but then they don't have the security on their end and they get hacked. So
okay. Yeah.
So see if you can outsource overseas if you can get away with it. There's so many different aspects of IT. I guess it goes from one extreme of having another VA for $5 a week to look after some of your IT stuff, to having a local business that looks at your IT stuff. I work with businesses that do that for a living.
Yeah.
So, I hope that answers that question, but an economical way is to chop up what are the bits that you definitely cannot do, and do it at a good rate.
Awesome. And I guess if Chrissy and Sarah, after they've watched this, if they have any other questions, you can answer in the group anyway.
Totally. If there's specific questions, I'd love to be able to help.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for jumping on. Is there anything else that you would add? Any final, I guess, tips or anything like that?
My tip is to, if you have the belief system that technology is difficult, drop it, because you are going to fall behind in terms of business. Businesses 20, 30 years ago could get away with not being tech savvy, but these days you've got to be tech savvy. Coming with the attitude that it's really easy and it's simple, and find a learning method that's going to use for you. You've got YouTube, you've got books, you've got webinars, whatever it is. Find a way that you're going to be able to learn and get on top of IT, just to have the basics of it, it's going to help you so much, even if you just understand stuff conceptually.
Definitely. And, I was telling myself that in 2014. I said, tech's too hard. It just goes over my head. It stresses me out. It's overwhelming. I don't know how to do it. And I realized that was holding me back. And so I watched some videos, tutorials, and I taught myself how to, and I did all these things from scratch by myself. I created a blog website, a membership site, multiple landing pages and sales pages as well in Optimized Press. And this is from someone who had no idea about tech and just So I taught myself all of that through videos that were literally step by step, click this, then click this. So like you said, there's lots of videos out there like that where you can learn. And I think for me now, I know how to do that stuff, and I can if I need to, but I can't be bothered. But now I'm at the stage of my business where I do have a good amount of money coming through that I can outsource that stuff. But I think for people who are just starting out, it's important to learn it yourself if you can't afford to have someone else to do it, instead of, like what you said, holding yourself back by just ignoring it.
Yeah, and look, I'm a big advocate for business owners being tech savvy to some extent. Too many times I see business owners get ripped off because someone has told them about a certain technique or a certain way of doing things, or promising them something, and they deliver 1%, and they're like, oh, this is just normal, whatever it is. But once you're a little bit tech savvy, you'll know when you're speaking to someone who's genuine and knows what they're talking about. So
and it helps you if you do hire someone to do your website, for example, for you. Then you know what they're talking about. Whereas before I taught myself those things, I had no idea what any of all the words they were saying were just jargon to me. So it's good to have a base level of understanding so you can just communicate as well.
Absolutely, and that's what my business is all about. It's like helping people, get rid of the jargon and let's speak English.
Yeah.
And so let's understand the basics. Cool.
Yeah, totally. Where can people, I know you mentioned your website before, but where can people find you?
Yeah, okay, so our website is thewebwarriors.com.au. I also have my IT group. If people want to, they're free to join that. It's called How to Grow Your Business Online. That's Grow Your Business Online. And it's literally an IT group where every day I just post a different topic, and it's a free for all Ask IT stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably the second place to find me and monitor that every day. So love to have a chat with people.
Yeah.
And your own group as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks so much for jumping on. Really valuable tips there for everyone, and it's been great chatting with you. Anyone who is one of my clients, you're welcome to ask any further questions in our group. If you're listening to the podcast, feel free to email me. I'll just give my personal email is ekburscough, burscough@gmail.com. You can email me there if you have any follow-up questions, or you can join my group, the community of Kick-Ass Action Takers, on Facebook as well. So feel free to get in touch with myself and John if you have any questions around business or around IT for John. And I hope you've got a lot out of this video if you're watching the video, or the podcast as well. So thanks so much once again, John, and I'll talk to everyone soon.